Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Today we are going to be talking about Lesson 3-6, which is titled Arithmetic Sequences. Okay, and our objective is going to be to identify and evaluate arithmetic sequences. Alright, we do have 4 vocabulary words today. The first one is sequence, which is an ordered list of numbers. Next we have term, is an element or number in a sequence. The third one is arithmetic sequence, is an ordered list of numbers in which the difference between consecutive terms is always the same. And you'll see that whenever we work on our examples, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And the last one is common difference, which is the difference between any, that should be any, 2 successive terms in an arithmetic sequence. Alright, let's take a look. These first 2 examples here is talking about how to find the common difference, which the common difference is just the difference between each of these numbers here, okay? And basically what we do is we take the first one, like this 11 right here, and we subtract the value of the second one, okay, which on this one 11 minus 9 gives us 2. Well, since that's 2, we know that the common difference is going to be 2, because each time we decrease by 2. Okay, pretty simple. And since we're decreasing, we would illustrate that with a negative 2 because we're decreasing every time. If we're increasing, then it would be positive. But if we look here on letter B, we're doing the same thing. We can simply take the first 2 terms that we have, subtract them, get your difference. Okay, whenever we subtract 3.75 minus 2.5, that gives us our difference of 1.25. So we have a common difference of positive 1.25. It's that simple. Alright, let's take a look. These 2 examples actually want us to find our common difference, so we're looking for the difference between these first 2 terms, the next 2, the next 2. Okay, so we could actually find the next terms if we wanted to. Well, in order to find that, all we have to do is take 6, subtract 2 from that, which we get 4. Okay, and since we're increasing, we know that our common difference is going to be plus 4. It's that simple. Okay, let's take a look at letter B. Again, we got to find the difference between these 2 numbers right here. Okay, which all we have to do is take our 5 and subtract 2.5 from that. Okay, so I'll add a decimal and a 0, subtract those guys, which gives us 2.5. So we know that our common difference is 2.5. And again, we're adding 2.5 each time, so we have an increase of 2.5. Simple. Alright, let's take a look at our next one. Alright, on this one is describing our arithmetic sequence, and we're looking for a common difference on these guys. Okay, but it's talking about what it wants us to do is it wants us to identify, well, the value of each of these if they were in a table. Okay, and whenever we have a sequence like this, like our 6, 12, 18, 24, okay, what it's asking us is what are we doing to its number in the sequence? For example, the 6 is actually the first, 12 is the second, 18 is the third, 24 is the fourth. So what it's asking us is, what are we doing to the number 1 here to get it to equal 6? What are we doing to the number 2 to get it to equal 12? What are we doing to the 3 to get it to equal 18? What are we doing to the 4 to get it to equal 24? Well, your answer, it gives it to us in this one, is we're multiplying in, and when it says in, it's talking about this number right here, like its place in the sequence. Okay, like 6 is the first number, 12 is the second, 18 third, 24 fourth, etc. Okay, so if we wanted to figure out what any value of this was, like let's say we wanted to figure out the 54th number, we could simply fill that into our equation right here. 6 times 54, and that would give us our value for the 54th number in that sequence. Alright, let's take a look at our last one here. Again, remember, we're looking at the number that these things occur in the sequence. Okay, so 3 is the first one, 2 is the second one, 9 is the third one, 4, 12, sorry, let me circle those for you. Okay, so we need to ask ourselves, what are we doing to 1 to get it to equal 3? Well, we could do a couple different things. We could either add 2 to it, or we could multiply it times 3. But it has to be the same thing that we do on the second one. So let's look at that and ask ourselves, what do we do to this 2 right here to get it to equal 6? Well, we could add 4 to it, or we could multiply it times 3. But remember, it has to be the same thing each time. And we just said on the first one right here that we could multiply it times 3, so let's try that. 1 times 3 does give us 3. That works out. 2 times 3 gives us 6. That works out. 3 times 3, that gives us our 9. 4 times 3, that gives us 12. So we should be able to figure that out, that we're going to do n times 3 equals our y. Okay, so if we were talking about a function here, our function would be like y equals our n times 3. Or 3n or something like that. Okay? As you can see, this isn't terribly difficult, but sometimes it can be a little bit confusing until you get used to them. But tomorrow when you get there and we'll work on our worksheet a little bit, I think that you'll think this is, you'll find it easy, I hope. Alright, well, good luck and we'll see you tomorrow.